The first time my straight roommate asked me how two guys fall in love, I thought he was just being curious. I should have known the question was not about anyone else. Some people confess with flowers. He would confess through questions he was too scared to answer himself. That was why, before Finn Morrison even unpacked, I made 3 rules. Do not fall for him. Do not mistake kindness for interest. And do not notice him too much. Finn walked into our dorm room on a hot August afternoon, carrying 2 duffel bags, a swim backpack, and a crooked smile that made the room feel smaller. His hair was still damp. His team hoodie had the university logo stretched across the chest. He smelled faintly like chlorine, clean soap, and summer pavement after rain. I was sitting on my bed, pretending to organize my desk. Really, I was trying not to look nervous. My name is Milo Reyes, sophomore year, a visual communication major. Gay, out since high school, and tired of people acting like that was either a warning label or an invitation to ask weird questions. When housing emailed me that my new roommate was a swimmer, I pictured the usual things. Loud friends, protein powder everywhere, jokes that landed wrong. A straight guy who would say, "I do not care that you are gay," then prove in 12 small ways that he definitely did. So I kept my laptop open on purpose. The little pride sticker was on the corner. Not huge, not dramatic, just there. A quiet piece of me, refusing to hide. Finn dropped 1 bag near the empty bed. His eyes moved around the room. Posters, mini fridge, my sketch tablet, then the sticker. I braced myself. I knew that pause. I had lived inside that pause too many times. Finn leaned slightly closer, but not too close. That flag means something to you, right? I looked up. His face was open. No smirk, no discomfort, no performance. Just curiosity careful enough to leave me room. Yeah. My fingers tightened around my pencil. It reminds me, I do not have to apologize for being who I am. Finn nodded once. Slow, serious. Then he set his bag down, farther from my side of the room so I had space to walk. Then it is a good sticker. I should have let that be nothing. A normal sentence. A decent roommate. A better start than I expected. But something in my chest loosened anyway. That annoyed me. Finn spent the next hour unpacking with the chaotic focus of someone who owned 7 swimsuits, but only 3 forks. He asked before moving the desk lamp. He checked which outlets I used. He offered me the window side because I had plants. Not fake politeness. Real attention. The dangerous kind. By sunset, our room looked half lived in. His medals were tucked inside a drawer. My art prints leaned against the wall. His damp towel hung neatly over his chair after he asked if that was okay. I told myself again not to notice him too much. Then the lights went off. The room settled. Outside, someone laughed in the hallway. Finn shifted in the other bed. For a while, I thought he was asleep. Then his voice came through the dark, low and hesitant. Milo? Yeah. Can I ask something? Kind of stupid? My stomach tightened. Depends how stupid. A soft laugh. Then quiet. If 2 guys date, how does it usually start? I stared at the ceiling. The question should have sounded random. Maybe harmless. Maybe curious. But there was something careful underneath it. Something Finn was holding with both hands, like he was afraid to drop it. I turned my head, just enough to see his outline, in the dim blue light. Usually? Yeah. He rolled onto his back. Like, who asks first? I swallowed. Whoever is brave enough. Finn did not answer right away. The silence stretched between our beds. 3 feet of cheap carpet. A whole world of things neither of us understood yet. Then Finn exhaled, slow. That sounds hard. I closed my eyes, because I already knew this was how trouble began. Not with a kiss, not with a confession, just a straight roommate, in the dark, asking how love starts, and sounding like he needed the answer. By the second week, Finn had become part of my schedule in ways I did not approve of. He left before sunrise almost every morning, moving quietly through the room, like he had trained himself not to wake anyone. The first time, I heard his alarm at 4:55 a.m. I expected groaning, drawers slamming, maybe a curse at the universe. Instead, Finn sat up, rubbed both hands over his face, and whispered, "Sorry, Milo." I was half asleep, under my blanket, pretending I had not heard him. "It is fine. I will be quieter tomorrow." That was the problem. Finn kept making it difficult to dislike living with him. He taped his swim schedule inside his closet door, not on the wall because he did not want the room to feel like only his. He kept his protein powder in a sealed container after I sneezed once. He learned that I worked better at night with one desk lamp on and never complained, even when my tablet glowed until 2 in the morning. In return, I learned his patterns. Morning practice from 5:30 to 7. Classes after breakfast. Weight training 3 afternoons a week. Study hall on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He was a person built from discipline and somehow still always losing his keys. By late August, our room had a rhythm. Finn came back smelling like chlorine, cold air, and campus coffee. I stayed up smelling like printer ink, peppermint tea, and bad decisions. Sometimes we crossed paths at the weirdest hours. Him coming in still damp from the pool. Me sitting at my desk with 27 layers open, on a poster design due at noon. One morning, I found an iced coffee, sweating gently, beside my laptop. A sticky note sat on the lid. "You looked dead last night." I stared at it for too long. Then I looked over at Finn's empty bed. "Dangerous," I muttered. "Very dangerous." His questions started small. Not all at once. Not like an interview. More like loose threads, slipping out when he thought I would not notice. The first one came on a Tuesday night. Finn lay on the floor with a kinesiology textbook, open on his chest. I sat on my bed, fixing the color balance on a fake concert poster. "Milo?" "Yeah." He tapped his pencil against the book. "When two guys go on a date, is it different?" I kept my eyes on the screen. "Different how?" Finn shifted, suddenly interested, in the ceiling. "I do not know. Like, who plans it? Whoever wants to. Who pays? Whoever offered, or they split it. So there is no rule?" I smiled despite myself. "Not really." Finn frowned, like this offended his athletic brain. "That seems stressful. Straight dating has rules?" He made a face. "Too many." I laughed. Finn looked over then, not at the screen, at me. The kind of look that stayed 1 second too long, then vanished before I could name it. After that, the questions kept coming. Casual but not careless. "Is it weird if someone comes out late?" "No." "Is it rude if someone is still figuring things out?" "It depends how they treat people." "Can someone like girls before, and then like a guy?" I stopped sketching. My stylus hovered above the tablet. Finn sat at his desk, pretending to sort index cards. His shoulders were too still. His ears were a little red. I made my voice gentle, but not soft enough to scare him. "Yes, Finn, that can happen." He nodded, once, then again, like he was filing the answer somewhere private. "Okay. Why?" His fingers bent, one index card at the corner. "No reason." I knew that was not true, but I also knew people tell the truth when it feels safe enough to survive it. So I let him keep the lie for one more night. Later, when the lights were off, Finn turned onto his side. "Milo?" "Yeah." "If someone had questions, would that bother you?" I looked at the dark shape of his bed. "Not if they are honest questions." A pause. Then softer. "What if they are scared questions?" My chest tightened. "Those are usually the most honest ones." Finn did not answer, but in the dark, I heard him breathe out, like he had been holding that breath for years. By mid-September, I had learned something inconvenient. It was easier to ignore Finn when he was asking questions. It was harder when he stopped. For 3 days, he barely asked anything. No late-night thoughts. No careful pauses. No strange little questions about dating, labels, or courage. He still left coffee beside my laptop. He still moved quietly before morning practice. He still smiled when he came back from the pool. But something had shifted. His smile landed, then disappeared, like he remembered halfway through that he was supposed to be normal. I told myself that was not my problem. Then Aaron happened. Aaron was in my photography elective. Curly hair, easy laugh, good taste in music. He wore old denim jackets and always smelled like vanilla chapstick. He asked me out after class while we were packing tripods away. Nothing dramatic. Just coffee Friday night at a place near campus with too many plants and chairs that looked better than they felt. I said yes, because Aaron was nice, because I was single, because sometimes the safest way to stop wanting one person is to sit across from someone else. When I told Finn he was tying his running shoes, his fingers paused for half a second. Then he looked up with a bright, practiced expression. That is great. I leaned against my desk. You think so? Finn tugged the lace too tight, then loosened it. Yeah, of course. His eyes dropped to the floor. You should have fun. I wanted to believe him. I really did. Friday came slowly. Finn had evening practice. I changed twice, then felt ridiculous, and changed back into a green sweater, black jeans, and sneakers. When Finn came in around 6, his hair was wet, and a towel hung around his neck. He stopped just inside the door. His gaze moved over me, quickly. Not rude, not obvious, just enough to make my stomach fold in on itself. You look nice. I picked up my keys. Thanks. Finn nodded. He opened his drawer, then closed it without taking anything out. Aaron, right? Yeah. Photography guy. Yeah. Cool. I waited. He said nothing else. So I left. The date was fine. That was the worst part. Aaron was kind. He paid for his own coffee. He asked about my design work. He laughed at the right moments. He did absolutely nothing wrong. But halfway through, while he talked about a film camera he found at a thrift store, my mind drifted to Finn, sitting on our floor, asking if scared questions counted as honest ones. I hated myself a little for that. When I got back, it was almost 11. The room was dark, except for Finn's desk lamp. He was on his bed with a textbook open across his lap. The page looked untouched. His pencil had bite marks near the eraser. Hey! I kicked off my shoes. Hey! Finn sat up straighter. Too fast. How was it? I hung my jacket on the chair. It was good. His face did something small. So small I almost missed it. Good, like good. That is usually what good means. Finn looked down at the book. Right? I crossed the room slowly. Why? No reason. He turned one page, then turned it back. Did he walk you back? No. I said I was fine. Did he want to? I narrowed my eyes. Finn. He blinked. What? Are you interviewing my date? His mouth opened, closed. Then he rubbed the back of his neck. I just wanted to know if you were safe. That was sweet. Almost. Except his voice had a bruise in it. I was safe. Good. Silence settled between us. I sat on my bed. The mattress dipped under my weight. Finn stared at his hands. Are you seeing him again? I looked at him carefully. I do not know. His shoulders eased before he could stop them. There it was. Small. Honest. Terrifying. Finn. He looked up. Yeah. I kept my voice quiet. Why did that answer make you feel better? His eyes widened. For 1 second he looked caught. Not guilty. Caught by himself. Then he turned away toward the wall. I do not know. I turned off my lamp before my face could betray me. The dark came down soft and heavy. For a while, neither of us moved. Then Finn spoke, barely louder than the air conditioner. I did not like picturing you, smiling at him. My heart kicked once hard. Finn. He pulled the blanket up to his shoulder. Forget I said that. But I could not. Because some sentences do not ask permission before they change the room. The next morning, Finn acted like nothing had happened. That was almost worse than if he had apologized. He went to practice before sunrise. He left coffee beside my laptop. He came back with damp hair, tired eyes, and a careful smile that did not reach the parts of him I had heard in the dark. I did not push, not because I was patient, because I was scared. If I asked, and he took it back, then I would have to pretend I had not already held his words against my chest. So we moved through the week like two people avoiding the same open drawer. Polite, friendly, too aware. By Thursday night, Finn had his first regional meet, 2 days away. The whole room knew it. His swim bag sat packed by the door. His alarm schedule was written on a sticky note. His goggles lay on his desk like a tiny plastic warning. Finn always got quiet before important meets. I knew that now. He stopped singing while folding laundry. He stopped making terrible jokes about dining hall pasta. He even stopped losing his keys, which felt unnatural. Around 10, he came back from the pool, moving slower than usual. His jaw was tight, his right hand pressed against his calf. I looked up from my tablet. You okay? Finn tried to smile, failed halfway, just tight from practice. He sat on his bed and stretched his leg with the seriousness of someone trying not to panic. I closed my laptop. Do you need ice? I am fine. I opened the mini fridge anyway. The small cold pack was behind 2 yogurts and a bottle of orange juice Finn kept forgetting. I tossed it to him. He caught it, then looked at me. You always ignore people when they say they are fine, only when they are lying badly. That got half a laugh. Barely, but enough. He pressed the cold pack against his calf. I sat on the floor beside his bed with my back against the dresser. The room felt softer than usual. No overhead light, just my desk lamp and the gold glow from the parking lot slipping through the blinds. Finn stared at the cold pack. Can I ask you something? My stomach tightened. That depends how stupid it is. He did not laugh this time. His thumb moved over the edge of the pack. Were you scared when you came out? I let the question sit before I touched it. Yes. Finn looked over. Even if you knew, knowing did not make it easy. I pulled my knees closer to my chest. I was not scared because I hated being gay. I was scared because other people could take one true thing about me and decide it was the only thing they wanted to see. Finn went still, not frozen, listening, really listening, so I kept going. I was scared my friends would act different. I was scared my parents would need time, and I would have to be grateful for whatever version of love they could manage. My voice stayed quiet. I was scared. I would tell the truth and somehow lose more than I gained. Finn swallowed. His eyes dropped to the space between us. Did you lose people? Yeah. I nodded. A few. His face tightened. Was it worth it? I looked at him and tried to be honest without making it sound simple. Yes. The air changed after that. Finn set the cold pack beside him. His hand rested near mine on the edge of the mattress. Not touching, close enough to make my pulse notice. He stared at our hands like they were a problem from a class he had never taken. What if someone does not know the right word yet? His voice was low, careful. What if he is not ready to say gay or bisexual or anything like that? My breath caught. Finn kept looking down. But he knows there is one guy he thinks about too much. The room became very quiet. Even the hallway noise felt far away. I wanted to reach for him. I wanted to run. Instead, I stayed where I was, That is not selfish, I said. Not by itself. Finn finally looked at me. His eyes were tired and more open than I had ever seen them. What makes it selfish? I held his gaze even though it hurt. If he turns that guy into a test, if he asks to be held, while he figures himself out, then disappears when the answer scares him. Finn's mouth parted, but no words came. His hand shifted closer, still not touching, still asking without asking. Then he whispered, "What if he wants to do it right?" My heart beat once, then again, too loud. Then he starts by being honest. Finn nodded slowly, the kind of nod that looked like a promise before it had language. Outside, a car door shut, in the parking lot. Somewhere down the hall, someone laughed. But in our room, everything waited. Finn looked at my hand, then at me. "Milo." I could barely breathe. "Yeah." His fingers stopped, less than an inch from mine. "I am trying to be honest." And that was the moment I understood. Some confessions do not begin with "I like you." Some begin with a shaking hand, choosing not to hide. The meet ended at 6:40 p.m., with Finn touching the wall first, in the 200-yard freestyle. I knew because the entire aquatic center seemed to rise at once. His teammates shouted. The scoreboard flashed. The coach clapped with both hands over his head. Finn pulled off his cap, breathing hard, water running down his face, while everyone around him celebrated. I stood near the back, with my hands tucked into my hoodie pocket. I was proud of him. But when Finn looked toward the stands and found me first, before his team, before his coach, before anyone else, pride became something much harder to survive. He smiled. Not the public smile. Not the practiced one for photos. This one was tired, relieved, and almost shy. It was the smile from our room. The one I was not supposed to want. Afterward, the team planned dinner near campus. Burgers, fries, loud music, the kind of place where everyone would retell the race until it became bigger than it was. Finn left with them because of course he did. But later I learned he stopped outside the restaurant, told them he needed air, and never went in. I went back to the dorm because I had a typography project due, and because my heart needed a room with walls. At 3:12 a.m., the door opened. Not loudly, not carelessly, just enough for the hallway light to fall across the floor. I looked up from my laptop. Finn stood there, in his team jacket, hair dry now, face pale with exhaustion. He did not look drunk. He did not look excited. He looked like someone who had won one race and lost another inside himself. "You are awake." I saved my file. "You know me." Finn closed the door, then leaned back against it. His swim bag slid from his shoulder to the floor. For a moment he just stood there, breathing, thinking, trying not to run. I did not go to dinner. I blinked. What? I got there, and everyone was loud and happy, and he rubbed both hands over his face. "I could not stop thinking about what you said." My chest tightened. "Finn." He crossed the room slowly, not too close, careful even now. Then he sat on the edge of my bed, leaving space between us. His knees bounced once, then stopped. "I think I used you like a search engine." I stared at him. Then, because my nerves were terrible, I laughed. Quietly. "That is a weird confession." His mouth twitched, but his eyes stayed serious. I kept asking questions. About dating, about labels, about guys, about coming out. He looked down at his hands. I told myself I was just curious, that I wanted to understand you better. His fingers folded together. But every question had your name at the end of it. The room went still. My laptop fan hummed, soft and useless. Finn swallowed. "I do not know the perfect word for myself yet." He looked up. "I do not know if I am bisexual or something else. I just know I liked girls before." His voice shook, but did not break. "And now, I know I like you." I did not move. I was afraid if I did, the moment would disappear. Finn kept going like stopping would hurt worse. I know I hated when you went out with Aaron. His face flushed with embarrassment. Not because he did anything wrong. He seemed nice. I hated it because he got to sit across from you and make you smile, and I wanted to be okay with that. He laughed once without humor. I was not okay with that. My throat felt tight. Finn. I know. He nodded before I could finish. I know this is messy. His eyes held mine. Scared, but steady. I know you are not responsible for helping me figure out who I am. That sentence almost undid me, because he had heard me, really heard me. I sat beside him, leaving a few inches between our shoulders. I like you too. Finn closed his eyes, like the words hurt, in a good way. I made myself continue, but I cannot be your experiment. His eyes opened. You are not. I need you to understand that. I do. He turned his hands, palms up, resting them on his knees. Not reaching, not taking, just showing me there was nothing hidden there. Do not let me try you out, Milo. His voice dropped. Let me show up. Let me be honest. Let me learn how to love you without making you smaller. I looked at him and felt something in me soften, then ache. That sounds like a promise. Finn nodded. It is supposed to be. The silence after that was not empty. It was full of everything we had not been brave enough to say sooner. I looked at his hands, then his face. Do you want to kiss me? Finn stopped breathing for half a second. Then his answer came quiet and clear. Yes. His eyes searched mine. But only if you want that too. And for the first time since Finn walked into my life, I stopped calling hope dangerous. The first kiss did not feel like a movie. There was no perfect music, no rain on the window, no sudden answer falling from the sky. There was only our dorm room at 3:19 a.m., my laptop glowing behind us, and Finn sitting beside me, with hope written all over his face. I was the one who moved first. Not far, just enough for our shoulders to touch. Finn looked down at that small point of contact like it mattered more than the race he had won. Still okay? His voice was barely there. I nodded. Still okay. He turned toward me slowly, careful enough that I could have stopped him at any moment. That made me trust him more. When our lips met, it was soft, almost uncertain, question more than an answer. Finn pulled back first, eyes wide, breath uneven, like he had stepped into a new room and found me already waiting there. Was that okay? I smiled because if I did not, I might cry. You can stop asking, like I am grading you. His face flushed. Sorry. Do not be sorry. I touched his wrist, lightly. Just be here. So he was. We kissed again. Still gentle. Still nervous. Nothing rushed. Nothing taken. Just two people learning where honesty could lead when nobody was trying to win. Afterward, we sat shoulder to shoulder in the quiet. Finn stared at the floor. I stared at his hand, resting near mine. I thought it would feel scarier. His thumb brushed the seam of his jeans. Does it? He shook his head. No. A small smile appeared, then faded. That is what scares me. I understood that more than I wanted to. Sometimes the truth is terrifying because it does not feel wrong. Feels like coming home, before you know whether the door will stay open. We did not sleep much. Maybe an hour, maybe less. Morning arrived, pale and rude, through the blinds. Finn woke before me because his body was apparently powered by swim schedules and emotional denial. I heard him move around, quietly. Then something tapped against my desk. When I opened my eyes, there was an iced coffee beside my laptop. Same as always, but this time, a sticky note was pressed to the plastic lid. Breakfast? With me? Not as roommates. I read it 3 times. Finn stood near the closet, pretending to search for socks. while holding two that already matched. His ears were red. Too much. I sat up, hair in my eyes. You wrote punctuation on a coffee cup. He looked worried. Is that bad? No. I picked up the drink. It is painfully you. His shoulders relaxed. So, breakfast. I looked at him over the cup. Not as roommates? Not as roommates. We walked to the dining hall side by side. Not touching. Not hiding either. The campus was still half asleep. A few runners moved past us. Someone dragged a laundry basket across the sidewalk. The air smelled like wet grass, burnt coffee, and early fall. Finn kept glancing at me, like he was checking whether I was still real. I wanted to tease him. Instead, I let myself enjoy it. Inside the dining hall, Finn grabbed eggs, toast, and 2 bananas. I got oatmeal because my stomach was too full of feelings for anything heavier. We sat near the windows. For 10 minutes, it was almost easy. Then someone dropped into the chair beside Finn. A teammate with damp hair and a gray swim hoodie. Morrison, there you are. His eyes flicked to me. You and Milo are always together now. My spoon froze above the bowl. I knew this moment. I knew the shape of it. The quick laugh. The easy label. Roommate. Friend. Nothing. Finn looked at me. Only for a second. Then he looked back. Yeah. His hand closed around his coffee. I like being with him. The teammate blinked, then shrugged. Cool. Coach wants everyone at recovery by 4. He left without making it a scene. My heart, however, made it a scene. Finn stared at his plate. Was that okay? I breathed out slowly. Yeah. He nodded but did not look convinced. Under the table, his knee bumped mine. Not an accident. Not a claim. Just a quiet reminder that he was still there. For the first time, the space between us did not feel like fear. It felt like something beginning carefully enough to last. For a while, loving Finn felt almost easy. That was the dangerous part. It happened in small ways, not big ones. A note on my coffee before his morning practice. A text from the pool deck when he should have been stretching. I miss you. Is that too much? I stared at those words in the middle of my design lecture until the professor cleared her throat. I typed back under the table. No, it is exactly enough. Finn learned how to be careful without making me feel fragile. He asked before reaching for my hand. He remembered that I hated being touched when I was focused. He stopped saying, never mind, when something scared him and started saying, I need a minute. That mattered. More than flowers. More than big speeches. More than any perfect label he was not ready for yet. In our room, he was honest. Sometimes painfully honest. He would sit on the floor, back against my bed, knees pulled up, and try to explain himself. I liked girls before. His fingers twisted around a loose thread on his hoodie. I still think I did. I nodded from above him. That does not make this less real. He looked up at me like he needed to hear it. Every time. You really believe that? Yes. He would breathe out then, slow and shaky, like I had given him permission to stop fighting his own history. Those nights made me soft. They also made me stupid, because I started believing that if something was true enough, it would become easy everywhere. It did not. Outside our room, Finn was different. Not cold. Not cruel. Just careful in a way that began to hurt. At first, I understood. I knew coming out was not a single door. It was a hallway, full of doors, and every person made you open one again. Finn had his team, his parents, his old high school friends, the version of himself everyone thought they knew. I told myself patience was love. Maybe it was. But patience without honesty starts to feel like hiding. One Friday afternoon, we walked back from the campus bookstore. Finn carried my printing paper because he said it looked heavy. It was not. He carried it anyway. Our shoulders kept brushing. Once his fingers touched mine. just lightly, just enough to send warmth through my hand. Then 2 guys from the swim team came around the corner. Finn moved away, not far, not dramatically, just 1 step. His hand disappeared into his jacket pocket. The motion was small, fast, easy to excuse. My chest did not care. "Hey, Morrison." One of them grinned. "You coming to the team thing tonight?" Finn nodded. "Yeah, probably." The other guy looked at me. "Milo, right?" I gave him a polite smile. "Yeah. Cool. See you around." They kept walking. Nothing bad happened. No one said anything cruel. No disaster opened under our feet. Still, I could not breathe right. Finn looked at me once they were gone. His face changed the second he saw mine. "Milo." I kept walking. "It is fine." "It is not. You do not get to decide that." He stopped beside the dorm entrance. I stopped too because if I kept moving, I might say something unfair. Finn's hands curled around the stack of paper. I panicked. "I know. I am sorry. I know that too." The worst part was I did know. Finn was not ashamed of me in the way people usually mean. He was scared of the moment after truth. The questions, the stares, the shift in the room. But my heart did not split pain that neatly. That night, in our room, he sat on his bed. I stood by my desk, arms folded, because I needed something to do with my hands. "I do not need you to tell everyone tomorrow." My voice stayed quiet, too quiet. "I am not asking for a speech or a post or some big public moment." Finn looked wrecked. "Then what do you need?" I swallowed. "I need to know I am not only real when the door is closed." His eyes filled, but he said nothing. Seconds passed. Then more. His silence answered before he did. I grabbed my hoodie from the chair. Finn stood up. "Where are you going?" My hand paused on the doorknob. "To sleep somewhere. That does not make me feel invisible." I stayed in my friend Caleb's room, that night on a narrow futon, under a scratchy blanket. I did not sleep much. At 6:08 a.m., my phone lit up. "Finn, I am sorry." Another message came 1 minute later. "I do not want to be brave, only when it is easy." I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Then I pressed the phone against my chest and hated how much I still wanted to believe him. Nora arrived on Saturday with 1 backpack, pink headphones, 3 romance paperbacks, and the kind of stare that made adults confess things by accident. She was 17, a senior in high school, and somehow more intimidating than Finn before a championship meet. Finn went downstairs to sign her in at the front desk, while I stayed upstairs, pretending not to be nervous. We had not fixed everything. Not really. I had come back from Caleb's room because avoiding Finn hurt more than seeing him. He apologized again without excuses. I accepted, but carefully. There are apologies that close a wound. And there are apologies that only prove someone knows where the wound is. We were somewhere between the two. A few minutes later, Finn brought her up from the lobby. Nora stepped into our room, looked at Finn's side, then mine, then the 2 iced coffees sitting on my desk. One had Finn's name written badly by the campus cafe. One had mine with a tiny heart drawn beside it. Her eyebrow lifted. Finn noticed and grabbed the nearest towel, like fabric could hide evidence. "Nora, this is Milo." I gave her a small wave. "Nice to meet you." She looked at me for 2 seconds, then smiled. "So you are the reason he learned what kerning means." Finn groaned. "Please do not start." He texted me a picture of a cereal box and said the letters looked wrong now. I glanced at Finn. "You did." Finn's face turned red. I was making conversation. Nora dropped her backpack onto Finn's chair. "You were flirting with typography." Then she looked between us with the calm satisfaction of someone who had read too many romance novels and was finally watching 2 idiots make terrible choices in real life. I laughed before I could stop myself. Finn looked at me then. The room softened for half a second. Nora saw it. Of course she did. She saw everything. That afternoon, we took her around campus. Finn showed her the aquatic center. I showed her the art building because she wanted to see the print studio. She asked smart questions. Real ones. Not the fake polite kind. When I explained my poster project, she listened, then pointed at one corner. That part feels lonely. I blinked. It is supposed to. Good. It works. I decided immediately that I liked her. Finn bought us lunch at a taco place near campus. He remembered my usual order, without asking. Nora watched him slide the tray toward me first. She watched me take the lime wedge from Finn's plate because he never used it. She watched Finn wipe salsa from the edge of my sleeve with a napkin, then freeze, like he remembered. We were not alone. I saw his hand stop. So did Nora. She did not say anything until later. Finn walked her to the vending machines near the dorm lobby. I stayed upstairs, pretending to fix a design file, while my stomach twisted itself into knots. When they came back, Finn looked different. Not fixed, not suddenly fearless, just quieter in a way that had weight. Nora gave me a quick hug before leaving. "Take care of him," she said. Then she glanced at Finn. "And make him take care of you too." After she left, Finn stood by the door with both hands in his hoodie pocket. She figured it out. I closed my laptop. I figured. He looked down. She said, "I do not need a perfect answer." His voice was uneven. "But I cannot make you feel like a part of me I am trying to hide." I said nothing because my throat had gone tight. Finn looked at me. She was right. But knowing Nora was right did not make Finn brave all at once. That night he barely slept. I heard him turn, again and again, in the dark. Once, around 2 in the morning, his voice crossed the room, small and rough. "I keep thinking about your face." When I moved my hand away, I did not know what to say to that, so I told him the truth. "I keep thinking about it too." Finn went quiet. Then softer. "I do not want to be that guy." "Then do not be." He did not answer, but I heard him breathe, like the words had landed somewhere deep and painful. The next afternoon, I went to the aquatic center to return Finn's water bottle. That was my excuse. The truth was, I wanted to see whether his words would survive daylight. Practice had ended. Swimmers moved around the deck, grabbing towels, checking phones, laughing too loudly. Finn stood near the benches, hair damp, team jacket open. One of his teammates, a guy named Connor, nodded toward me. "Morrison, your roommate is here again." The word hit me before I could prepare. Roommate. Safe. Small. Closed door. Connor smirked. Not cruel exactly, but careless. "You two are getting pretty attached." Finn looked at me, then at Connor. His jaw tightened. "Do not talk about Milo like that." The deck quieted, just slightly. Connor raised both hands. "Relax. I am joking." Finn did not smile. "I am not." My pulse climbed so fast, I felt it in my hands. Connor's expression shifted. Confused now. Testing. "What is he, then?" For 1 second, Finn looked scared. I saw it. The old instinct. The safe answer. The word roommate waiting on his tongue. Then his eyes found mine, and something in him broke open. Not perfectly, not gracefully, like he simply could not stand, making me smaller one more time. "He is the person I am dating." For a few seconds, nobody moved. The water kept rippling behind him. A whistle blew somewhere across the pool. My heart sounded louder than both. Connor blinked. Another teammate looked down, then away. Someone else muttered, "Oh." It was not perfect. It was not cinematic. But Finn stayed standing. Shoulders back. Voice steady. Eyes on me. And for the first time, the door did not feel half-closed. Not everything changed after Finn told the truth. That was the part nobody warns you about. I think people imagine courage as a door swinging open and sunlight pouring in all at once. But real courage, at least the kind Finn had, looked quieter than that. It looked like showing up the next morning, even when the room felt strange. It looked like sitting beside me in the dining hall while two teammates looked over, then looked away. It looked like not reaching for my hand, because I was not ready, but not moving away either. For a few days, the team was careful around him. Not cruel, not warm, careful. Connor did not apologize right away. He just stopped making jokes. Another guy, Marcus, sat with us after practice and talked about a chemistry exam, like nothing had happened. I appreciated that more than some dramatic speech. Normal can be a gift when the world has made you brace for impact. Finn noticed everything. I could tell. He was quieter after practice. He checked his phone less. He stared at the ceiling more. One night, he sat on the floor, back against my bed, and picked at the label on a water bottle. I thought I would feel different. I looked down from my sketchbook. After telling them, he nodded. Yeah. His fingers stilled. I thought I would feel either free or ruined. And Finn let out a small breath. I feel like I have homework. I laughed softly. He smiled too, but his eyes were tired. Good homework, he added. But still homework. I understood. He was learning who he was in public now. That takes energy. It also takes people who do not punish you for needing time. His coach called him in the following Monday. Finn came back 20 minutes later, looking confused. I stood from my desk. Bad. He shook his head. Coach asked if this was going to make me swim slower. I blinked. Seriously? I said no. And Finn hung his jacket over the chair. He said, then get in the pool. I leaned against the desk and laughed because it was so perfectly ordinary that it almost hurt. Finn laughed too. Then he crossed the room and rested his forehead against my shoulder just for a second. I think that was support. That was very coach support. It felt nice. Things with his parents took longer. He told them over winter break, from his childhood bedroom, with posters still on the walls and swim ribbons in a box under the bed. He called me afterward, voice rough, but steady. They need time. I sat on my bed, in the quiet dorm room. Are you okay? I think so. Pause. My mom said she loves me. My dad got quiet, but he stayed on the call. I closed my eyes. That matters. Yeah. Finn breathed in. I wish it did not have to matter so much. I did too, but I did not say that. I just stayed on the phone until his breathing slowed. By spring, Finn started using the word bisexual. Not loudly, not like an announcement, just honestly. The first time he said it while filling out a campus inclusion survey, sitting at my desk, chewing on the end of a pen. Bisexual sounds right. My heart went soft, in a way I did not know how to hide. Then use it. He looked at me. Yeah. 2 years later, we moved into a small apartment, 15 minutes from campus, if the bus was on time. It usually was not. Finn still woke before sunrise. I still worked too late. Our fridge held his meet schedule, my project deadlines, a grocery list, and one old photo from the dorm room where everything started. Sometimes, Finn still teased himself for all those questions. I really asked you who pays on a date. I handed him his coffee. You were doing research. He smiled. Important research. Very important. Then he took my hand in our tiny kitchen without checking who might see. That was the answer in the end. Not one perfect label. Not one brave moment. Just this. Choosing each other in daylight. Talking when scared. Apologizing before silence became a wall. Learning that love between two guys is not a puzzle unless the world makes it one. Finn once asked me how two boys start dating. Back then, I thought the answer was courage. I was not wrong. But now, I think it is also patience. It is honesty. It is coffee left on a desk at 5 in the morning. It is a hand staying close when people are watching. It is one ordinary day after another until the truth no longer feels like a risk. It feels like home. A year after that, Finn asked me another question in our tiny kitchen. While the coffee machine made that terrible grinding sound, we both kept promising to fix. There was no crowd, no perfect speech, no dramatic sunset, just Finn, standing in mismatched socks, holding a small silver key, with our apartment number engraved on one side. "Will you keep choosing this home with me?" I looked at the key, then at him. The boy who once needed courage, just to ask a question in the dark. And the man who had learned, day by day, to love me in the open. My answer was not loud. It did not need to be. Yes. We stayed in that apartment for one more year. Then we moved into a little house, 12 minutes from campus, with a blue front door, 2 uneven bookshelves, and a kitchen window, where Finn grew basil badly, but proudly. He kept coaching youth swimmers on weekends. I built a small design studio from the second bedroom. Every morning he still left coffee beside my desk. Every night I still checked if his keys were by the door. We did not become perfect. We became honest. We became steady. We became home. And years later, when people asked us how our story started, Finn always looked at me first. Then he would laugh, soft and embarrassed. I asked too many questions. And I would take his hand right there where anyone could see. "No," I would tell him, "you asked the right one."